remember what you were doing on this day 5 years ago. How about 10 or 20 years ago?
Probably not. A Minnesota man, though, has captured the highs and lows of the last 25 years of his life on film. In tonight's Maury Stories, Maury Glover shows us how he brought his life into focus with a picture of the day project.
Every day, it challenges me, number one, to be creative, okay?
In the basement of a farmhouse in Mayer, Minnesota,
Baseball helmet of my son looking, I'm through the fence watching him play baseball.
there are thousands of moments.
And this is what 365 photos looks like, in case you're wondering.
Frozen in time.
This is an old lady at an estate sale down in Albert Lee, or it was an auction. And I just love that photo.
For the last quarter century, Michael Deering has taken a picture a day with a 35mm camera.
So this is the trusty Minolta Zoom 160.
And unlike the endless photos that only exist on our cell phones and social media,
Every day I'm looking for something to capture, something to compose, something meaningful, something I deem relevant, interesting, what have you.
Deering's passion project is preserved on film.
This just causes you to slow down a little and just take it as it is, see a picture, and have the patience to wait to see it come to fruition, quite frankly.
This labor of love started back in 1996 when Deering took this picture with his parents at the Lexington restaurant to celebrate his 30th birthday. Since then, he's taken one photograph every day, and only one, of something that catches his eye, from the magnificent to the mundane.
I call them breadcrumbs on the trail. The breadcrumbs you leave on the trail are often forgotten in most people's lives because either the memory forgets them or they're not captured. I have them.
The pictures run the gamut from life, the births of his two sons, to death, the funeral for his father, and everything in between. Some document a moment in history, like this snapshot at 38th in Chicago, the day after George Floyd was murdered, or the first bouquet of flowers placed in the fence around Paisley Park on the day Prince died. Others are closer to his heart, like this shot of his heart taken by his doctor during surgery 15 years ago, or the self-portrait he took while in the ICU for a week with COVID-19.
Now, I'm telling you, you ever want to reflect in your life, you sit in a hospital room with COVID or any other thing that a doctor looks you straight in the face and wants to tell you that you're doing better, but you can see it in his eyes, there are no promises, and there's nothing they can do for you.
Deering says over the years he's gone from mostly photographing himself and his family to pointing his camera at others, but he says there is a method to his madness.
Could be a footprint in the snow, right? It could be an eagle sitting in an oak tree in the middle of the winter on Martin Luther King Day that I noticed while I'm driving down a country road. It's these ironies that a lot of times get lost in the shuffle of daily life that I think I've trained myself to see a lot of these things. Sometimes it taps you on the shoulder, sometimes it's right in front of your face, other times you have to go find it.
Some of the most poignant pictures document his parents' final years while they both suffered from Alzheimer's. There's Deering sitting on his father's grave eating popcorn, something the two of them used to do together, or visiting his mother in the hospital a few days before she passed away.
I look at that picture, and as much as you want to be sad because she passed away like 9 days later, I look at it and I see that little smile, and I couldn't be more proud that we were able to capture that and that she understood. And again, I'm sure in her head that's just Michael.
With more than 9,000 photos, Deering worries about one day losing his memory and not being able to remember all the stories behind them. But he hopes his life in pictures helps others put their own lives into perspective.
Take inventory every day of your life. Look at the breadcrumbs that you're leaving on the trail. I don't think it's going to end until I end. We'll see. That last picture a day will probably be pretty compelling.
For Maury Stories, Maury Glover, Fox 9.
What a beautiful mission. And to have the patience To see it through year after year.
And I think his point to all of us is just slow down and take those life snapshots, right?
Yeah, well, and to appreciate the little things that we just pass by, too. Like if he wasn't looking, he wouldn't have seen that eagle.
Exactly. If you have a story you think would make a good Maury story about the people, the places, or things that make Minnesota a great place to live, send an email to maury@fox.com.